Good morning, this is Jack from Charting Markets, and this is a pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 6th of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, this is a video for paying subscribers at chartingmarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. Okay, I've got a post out this morning. I was just tracking how we were doing on the head and shoulder setups pretty well. As I mean, here you can see really the daily middle band pretty much is pretty close to where the monthly pivot is. So obviously we are in the process of getting back below that, converting it to resistance. We closed back below the daily middle bands on SPX and the Qs last night, and that is favoring the downside. I've upped my downside call to about 75%. Really, this should go down. There's no reason I can think of this shouldn't go down. But, you know, at any inflection point, there's always a chance it breaks the other way. Very nice head and shoulders here on ES. Very nice head and shoulders here on NQ. Again, converting the monthly pivot back to resistance. RTY has been a bit of a surprise. 60-minute sell signal still fixed there. But we actually made a higher high. We've got a decent support trend line there, which we haven't got on the others. So I'm watching that to see if it breaks and whether this goes back below the monthly pivot. Not quite sure why RTY is doing this, but it does tend to plow its own furrow a lot of the time. YM, we've got a nice looking little level top here, which may well deliver and give us the move back down. DAX, I was thinking of calling this a possible weak 60-minute sell signal brewing. Don't think it's quite good enough here, but this does look like topping action, and it looks like topping action on ESTX at the moment as well. All right, looking at the bigger picture charts. Bear with me a moment. All right, looking at the hourlies. This is forming almost picture perfect, really. We went a little higher than the left shoulder, but this is still a very high quality head and shoulder pattern, and it's still performing. We really need to see some downward action today or tomorrow, though, if we're going to see that. It doesn't necessarily strike out the head and shoulders if we don't do that, but that's the next obvious step in the sequence. We closed back below the daily middle bands yesterday. We should be seeing some movement down away from the daily middle bands today. On the Qs, again, it's very nice. I like it a lot. We have got RSI 14 buy signals fixed on the hourlies on SPX and the Qs, and that is supporting a possible move to retest the all-time highs. But I'm thinking that's the lower probability outcome at the moment. On Dia and IWM, we haven't got any 60-minute buy signals. We're seeing a nice looking fail here at the 250 hour moving averages. I was talking about these yesterday morning, and they're now basically crossing. And on IWM, they're crossing as well. And we're testing those at the moment. I would like to see those hold. So this is very much the obvious place to be going down from directly. Could we see a retest of the high to set up the second high of a double top? Yes, but we'd need to see a fail quickly if we did see that. You can see there's definitely room for this to be the second high of a double top here. And we don't have a topping pattern yet. Don't necessarily need one, but it'd look better with one. NQ, pretty much the same, although this double top might be a little oversized. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at the other bigger picture charts. So bear with me a moment. All right, on the daily charts, we had a clear break back below the daily middle band on ES and SPX and the Qs. Dow, Dia almost reached the daily middle band, and IWM did the same. So nice little back tests across the board here, and at the moment all resistance is holding, and the next obvious move is very much down. Didn't quite reach the daily middle band here. This was the furthest down, and it's seen the strongest bounce so far. I'm liking this, and if we turn back down here, then the bands are now expanding, so it's going to be harder to reach the 3SD lower band if we go lower. So we shall see how that goes. We've obviously got nice looking double tops on IWM, which has got a target down here in the 207 area, and on Dia, which has got a target down here in the 424 to 426.5 area. All right, looking at DAX, obviously got a very nice looking overall level top. We've seen the main support here was actually the 50 DMA, not the daily middle band, although the daily middle band was decent support as well. But this is the support that was really holding after the April low. We've come back and we've back tested it. This is a perfect area to fail. Nikkei. No current divergence here. We've seen a bit of a pullback. I'm expecting this to pretty much follow the other indices. And I'll be looking for, if we see further down, I'll be looking for potential support at the 50 DMA at 38,276. Okay, DX. I've been talking about a possible fail back up. At the moment, that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a slow creep downwards, and looking at it, if we see the equities fail here, this is probably going to send the dollar down too. I have to say, one of the things which has not been inspiring confidence in the dollar here is Trump firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and appointing a political hack to run it, and he's talking about another political hack to run the Fed after the Fed chair's term runs out on May next year. This is not good because two of the things that the dollar's got in favor of it really are decent statistics, because really US government statistics have pretty much been the gold standard for a long time. If the quality of those goes down, then confidence in the dollar will go down. And equally, if the Fed chair becomes a political hack who just cuts interest rates as he is instructed and is no longer independent, that again is going to hit confidence, and it's going to hit it pretty badly. So we shall see. Right, ZB, we've got 6-minute sell signal has reached a possible near miss target. We've got negative divergence on TLT. We got positive divergence on the hourly on TNX, and I'm leaning towards this going down a bit from here. That's the obvious lean here. On the end, we've got this nice looking wedge. I drew this in before it was hit because actually the origin of this trend line has dropped off the chart now. It's only 3 months. This is a nice looking rising wedge. I'm wondering about a move down to the wedge support, which I've got down here at about the 110.18 area. Looking at CL, we had buy signals fixing across the board yesterday, and these have all pretty much made target without actually CL moving much. Now, obviously, Trump has been asking Saudi to up production. Last time they did it, somewhat to my surprise, and they may well do it again here, in which case that's going to have a fairly strong lean for oil to go downwards. Heating oil, we saw a bit of a rally, buy signal made target. RBOB, saw a bit of a rally, buy signal is reaching target. These are very modest rallies, and that has me leaning bearish. So NG, we've actually got positive divergence on the daily here, and as I've mentioned a few times, we do have a fairly strong bullish lean. We're coming into a period where seasonally the futures are expecting NG to go up by basically 50% over the next 5 months. That could be starting here, but I'm still leaning towards it going a bit lower, and I've got a possible target in the 2.7 area, which I'm thinking would be better to be hit before we start that, if we are going to start that. GC, 60-minute sell signals reached possible near miss target. Sorry. We've got a possible double top here, which is quite nice, watching that with interest. SI, the little IHS, is pretty close to making target. I've got that target in about 38.2 area. Haven't made it yet, but we've made it up pretty much to 38. No current negative divergence. Bigger picture, we've still got this double top, which has obviously not been invalidated because they don't invalidate. PA, we've been forming this head and shoulders, and we broke down slightly from it, and there was a little double bottom set up here, and it's gone the other way. This is actually breaking down with a target in the 1015 area. Watching that with great interest. This is a sign that we might be seeing this obviously go down quite a bit, and it may well spill over into the others. Platinum, we don't have a downside target here. We have a head and shoulders. It made target. We've got a double bottom, which has broken up and is showing absolutely no interest in going any higher. Strong resistance at the monthly pivot at the moment. It may just reject straight back to the lows. HG, this is still a very, very weak looking bear flag forming. We've got a weak 60-minute buy signal is fixed. It's almost reached the possible near miss target without it actually going significantly higher. Ideally, this would go A, B, C. This would head up into about the 4.5 2-3 area, while the weak 60-minute buy signal was making it possible near miss target or the full target. I'm thinking that may well deliver. Looking at the currency pairs, just in terms of where this is in terms of the dollar, we've got an IHS here which is broken up and has now made a higher high. This improves the chance that we make the target in the 118 area. On GBP USD, we've got an IHS which is broken up with a target in the 1.348 area, and we're just retesting that high at the moment. This could be a little level top, but equally this could be a continuation heading up to that target. USD JPY, we've got a potential bottoming set up here, but at the moment it's not really delivering anything, and the 60-minute buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. USD CAD, we've got a head and shoulders here which is broke down slightly and is now continuing down at the moment towards the target, which would be in the 1.364 area. Looking at the Australian dollar, we've got a double bottom which is broken up and is now heading up towards the target. And on NZ, we had an IHS break up and fail, but we've now got a better IHS which is now broken up. Still got resistance at the weekly pivot and the monthly pivot, but this is broken up with a target in the 0.6075 area, and I'm thinking this may well make the target. No, 60075 area. So overall, the currency pairs are leaning towards more downside on the dollar. KC, possible triangle forming here. I think this is a triangle or a bear flag, setting up a retest of this low. On SB, the IHS is now looking less likely. We're spending too long. I was saying in my bigger picture on Sunday that really this needed to break up this week. It's doing no signs of doing so. If not, we're probably going to reject back into this low in about the 15.35 area. CC, we had a IHS broke up and failed, and we had a head and shoulders this broke down with a target in the 7,500 area. We've been seeing a bit of a retrace after that, but I'm still liking that target. Could this be a bull flag? Potentially, yes, but it's not a high quality one. But that is the alternative where this also fails and rejects back up into this high here in the 8750 area. Looking at CT, we've got we haven't quite made it to the retest this low here at 6625. We've seen a bit of a rally here. I'm still regarding that as an open target. I'd love to see a big move up here because we've got a big resistance trend line, which I'd love to see broken. We haven't broken it yet. But really, in the meantime, we'd normally return to retest this low here at 66.25. Lumber, we've got a sell signal as fixed and a possible little head and shoulders here on wheat. We've been continuing down. We haven't reached the main targets I'm looking for. I think they're mainly in the 495 and 485 area. Corn has actually reached the big target on the downside. There is another target I've got lower, but I'm wondering about some possible support here. We do have a possible 6-minute buy signal brewing. On soy, we've been seeing a bit of a rally, but this looks like a bear flag forming. I've still got open targets below there. On soybean oil, we've been seeing a little bit of a rally here. 6-minute buy signals fix hasn't reached the possible near miss target, but we've got an open double top target here, high quality and down about the 52.2 area, and I'm still thinking that's probably going to make target. Live cattle looks as though it's returning back up to this high. That could be the second high of a double top. On lean hogs, has broken up obviously from the megaphone, and we had a little double bottom, and that's made target. Waiting to see if this is going to head up and retest this high here at about the 96 point. Well, pretty close to the 97 area, actually. All right, great. In that case, let's have a quick look at questions. Any chance for the metals to go down? Yes. EXP, is that a stock, mate? Expedia, all right. That, I'll just spend we got a couple of minutes. Let's have a quick look. And bear with me a moment. So I've been doing loads and loads of charts. That's not one I've done. What's the market cap on Expedia? Do you know? Might be worth including in my main list. All right, it's all right. I can look that up. Okay, let's have a look. Not a bad head and shoulders. Let's have a look at the pattern. bear with me a second. Sorry, I haven't charted this before. So this is a bit rough and ready, and we've only got basically, this is my best take I can manage in about 2 minutes. We've broken below rising support. It's a pretty decent looking wedge, actually. Not an awesome anchor, but not bad at all. Yeah, I think that could be a head and shoulders. It looks pretty nice. This would be the neckline. Target would be down here in about the 152.5 area. That would retrace much of the April move. I've seen a lot of patterns like this on the bigger picture stock charts. So yeah, could that be a head and shoulders? Definitely. This buy signal here has made the possible near miss target. Let's have a quick look on the daily chart. Hang on. All right, no daily sell signal here. No bigger pattern that I'm really looking at here, but yes, that is a head and shoulders. It may well break down. We will see. We've got pretty decent looking support here, which I would be watching at the 50 DMA in the 175 area. All right, great. Cheers, guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow, and take care.